Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Sacred Union energy update. I actually didn't plan on doing a Sacred Union update today. I was going to do an Ascension relationships reading or just kind of see what came through. But as I was doing the weekend update for Instagram, Facebook, and you can also find it on the YouTube community channel here. Make sure that you're checking that out for a lot of updates and information. As I was pulling those cards, I could not believe what was coming out, as well as the energies that I was receiving. Um, so this is going to be for the weekend, but moving into the next phase of our ascension, the next phase of our journey, the next phase of sacred union. We're going to start feeling that energy this weekend. It is the new moon in Cancer today, so do make sure you check out the new moon in Cancer reading. This is picking up on that energy as well. This is a major shift, major transformation that we are experiencing. So the message that I received was that we're ending a karmic cycle. This is a huge karmic cycle that has been continuing for not just the past several months, but the past several years, even over our lifetime. Some of us are even transmuting patterns, templates, beliefs that we have held for this lifetime that are even coming in from past lifetimes. So what I was hearing with that is that there's no going back once this transformation is completed, because you're transforming your very self. That's what ascension is all about. And this shift is very, very palpable. We are moving into a new and higher version of ourselves. Now, we've been doing this on the ascension journey, just on the ascension journey going forward in the past. We've been doing this, going through transformation, shedding old versions of ourselves, but this transformation into the higher version of ourselves is extremely, extremely palpable. When I say that you feel this shift within yourself, it is unlike anything that I have personally felt before. It is self-empowerment. It is recognition of the soul self. It is connection to God, source, universe, whatever it is that you want to call that pure divine source energy. It is connection. It is releasing and removing the veil of separation, the illusion of separation, so that you feel at one. And we've had pockets of this. We have felt this in the past, but this is really anchoring this in. This is really grounding in this energy. This is really union with self, union with source, and for those in sacred partnerships, this is union with a sacred partner. But it's only because you have that union with yourself. You feel the bridge or the balance of the masculine and feminine polarities within the self, that you are able to really see that reflected in your divine partnership with another. Somebody recently told me that it's like it's pushed out into the reflection of another, and I really liked how that was said. But this is the divine energy. So before, we might have been experiencing and thus seeing within ourselves distorted templates, false beliefs, old conditioning and patterns that was showing us anywhere where we were still experiencing distorted masculine or distorted feminine energy. But the more we clear that, the more we heal that, the more we transform that, and we transform that by releasing resistance to that transformation, allowing ourselves to grow and expand and see things from a different perspective, embody things from that different perspective. The more we do that, the more we begin to see and feel the divine essence within us. The more we heal the distortions, the more we become one with our divine self. And that is both the divine masculine and the divine feminine polarities. And the more we experience that, the more we see that reflected in our divine partner. Now, depending on where you are in your journey right now, this death and rebirth that we're all experiencing might have felt like a dark night of the soul, with heavy and sometimes difficult purging of those old templates and versions of yourself. Or for others, it felt like a mild revisiting and transmuting of anywhere where you neglected yourself, anywhere where you sacrificed yourself, anywhere where you weren't standing in your authenticity, your truth, your power. Now, this is not corrupt power. This is not manipulative power. This is power of recognizing your divinity and not tolerating or standing for anything less. For some, this could even be reflected in your relationships with others, family dynamics, partnerships, um, work relationships, romantic relationships, where you said, I'm not settling for anything less than what I deserve. I'm not settling for anything less than what I feel in my heart. I am not settling for less than truth. I am not settling for less than authenticity. I am not settling or tolerating anything less than is in alignment with my divine nature. Anything less than love. And so old patterns where you have neglected yourself or rejected yourself or abandoned yourself. That's a key word. Anywhere where you had abandoned yourself for others, that was people pleasing, that was sacrificing, that was allowing others to walk all over you, in essence, not respect you. Anywhere where you were abandoning yourself, that is what empowerment is. It's not just standing in your power or taking your power back. It is self-empowerment. It is not tolerating less than. It is not allowing for you to abandon yourself for the sake of others. Because when you abandon yourself, you're abandoning your connection to yourself. You're abandoning what your soul is asking of you. It is abandoning you. It is abandoning God. You're abandoning God, your connection to God. And so there's a difference, and that's where discernment is really, really key. You're in an energy of love and compassion for yourself and for others. That's what your connection to God's source is. But you're also recognizing that within yourself. And what has happened on this planet is we have forgotten the divinity within ourselves. We have forgotten the connection to ourselves. We have abandoned the connection to ourselves. That is what standing in your divine light is. That's what standing in your truth is. It is not tolerating that abandonment of yourself any longer. And for a lot of us, this has felt so uncomfortable because it feels selfish, or it feels like we are horrible people. It feels like we are, for lack of a better word, it feels like we are assholes or bitches or whatever it is that people like to call us. Because that means that we're not aligned to their lower templates. Now, there's no judgment there. Everybody's on this process of ascension. But it's this energy of, now what it was to roll over, for the dog analogy, to roll over and just submit yourself and surrender to others. Now you know what it is to surrender to Source, to surrender to the universe, to say, I'm walking with God, I'm walking with Source, I'm walking with the Creator, but in my divine essence, in my divine light, not sacrificing myself for the sake of others. Compromise, yes, compromise is different. You're not compromising yourself, you're just working in alignment with others. That's co-creatorship. Working in partnership with others for the best and highest outcome, the best and highest potential. But you don't sacrifice yourself, your needs, your desires, your wants for that. That is you being in your divine love, being in your divine light. Now you know how to embody love, compassion, forgiveness, a sense of balance. You know how to embody all of that in your divine essence while still holding that love, holding that compassion. But you're not abandoning that love and compassion for yourself. There's a difference. And so for some, that might have triggered a dark night of the soul, where you're questioning your beliefs, you're questioning everything that you thought that you knew. Purging old templates and conditionings and patterns and habits and addictions, mindsets and beliefs where you thought that you had to sacrifice yourself or give up yourself for others. You're no longer doing that. You're no longer allowing for that. For others, this was, like I said, a mild revisiting of old patterns where you said, oh, that's a template, that's a pattern. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to stand in my light. I'm going to stand in my self-respect. I'm not going to abandon myself any longer. So you're not neglecting yourself any longer, which is leading to a more empowered you, which is leading to a higher version. And either way, whatever you're experiencing, that dark night or just that mild revisiting, you're transmuting. You're shifting into higher consciousness. You're shifting into a higher version of you, whichever path that is, whichever one you're experiencing. It's for your soul's highest good. It's for your soul's expansion. Stay the course of this expansion. Continue to release anywhere where you were resisting that transformation. For those of you who were going through a little bit of a dark night, it's because you were resisting that expansion in the first place, taking a little bit of a harder path because there was that resistance, there was that ego, but you're releasing that. And so that dark night is just a push into higher consciousness. No matter what, there's expansion that is taking place here. Okay, I wanted to come on here because there was another message for sacred unions. And I couldn't ignore it. And it was too long for social. So there is a transformation that is occurring within your sacred partnerships. And we've been channeling that for the past several months as well. The past several readings. It is here. It is here at the forefront right now with this death card. Transformation is occurring and it cannot be resisted any longer. This is a transformation within the self, as well as a transformation within your partnership. Because you transform within the self, your partnership naturally has to transform. For some, this could be an ending. Well, for all, this is an ending. It's an ending of the old version of yourself. It's an ending of your old relationship, an ending of the old template. I do want to refer you guys back, because they're calling it to me, the Journey's End reading. One part of your journey has come to an end. You're not who you were a few months ago, a few years ago, when your journey started. You are different. You are transformed. You are embodying higher consciousness. You are embodying higher levels of love within yourself. And as you embody higher levels of love within yourself and that higher consciousness, naturally you're aligning to that. So anything not aligned to that has to fall away, has to end. Or in some cases, be transformed. And so you have to release the past. We've been talking about that for the past several months. You have to release the past templates, the past beliefs, the past versions of yourself and of this divine partnership. That journey has come to an end. You have to release the template, the container of what the journey was before in order to expand into the new. Because your soul is begging for expansion, yearning and longing for that growth. And if you're resisting it, then you're still holding on to an old version of your partner, of your journey, of yourself. And you can no longer allow that. Now, for some, this has been very, very hard because of that attachment. Attachment to the journey, attachment to the label twin flame, or divine counterpart, or sacred partner. Attachment to even an old version of you and what you believed love was. All of that is crumbling down right now. All of that has to be released in order to move into the new. Now, that's not to say that you're not going to have that sacred partnership with the person that you thought was your person. But you have to really dive deep within yourself and see, where am I attached to an old version of them or an old version of myself and what I believed love and this journey was. I'm hearing the spiritual ego has to crumble. The old version of yourself and what you believed has to crumble in order to fully align. For these divine masculines, I feel like they are really beginning to understand themselves, to know themselves, to understand where they were holding on to false egoic structures, spiritual ego, spiritual templates, concepts, ideals, ideas of what they thought partnership was, what they thought love was, based on old heartbreaks, teachings, learnings, studies, relationships, experiences, etc., based on the old. But they have to let that go in order to welcome in the new. They've always seen that the divine feminine in her light, in her essence. And the more she stands in her light, the more she stands in her essence, the more the divine masculine is called to rise into his, to be that conscious divine partner, to be that leader. Divine Feminine, I'm not ignoring you. You have been through quite a journey to be able to recognize this within yourself. Divine Masculine is not recognizing this within themselves. But it's because you are really shining the light for them, showing them who they could be, who they want to be, showing them their highest potential. In order for them to be your partner, to be your match, they have to align to you. And Divine Feminine, you're releasing the attachment. You're saying, I'm not settling for anything less than what I'm in alignment to. I'm not settling for anything less than someone who is in their higher consciousness, who is aligned to their highest potential. This is somebody who leads, somebody who takes action, somebody who is acting from their heart space, someone who has been in their place of authenticity, following their truth, releasing any addictions, any habits, any masks that they were clinging to. Divine Feminine, she's in her power, in her essence, in her divinity, in her magic. She's in her authenticity, and she's not allowing anything in her energy field that is not aligned to that as well. It's not to say that she's not in a place of compassion, that she's not in a place of patience for others, compassion for others, love for others, but she's also not giving energy anymore to anything or anyone that is not in alignment with that. Divine Masculines are leveling up. They are feeling into their heart space. It's massive heart activation. That's part of the transformation that they are experiencing now. They have had heart activations in the past, but this is like their heart is being blown wide open now. They're really being called to go within. And I'm just getting this image of a masculine just tearing up as they reflect on themselves, as they reflect on anywhere where they were not aligned to their heart space, hiding behind the mask, hiding behind false concepts, hiding behind old heartbreak and trauma and wounding, not allowing themselves to really dive deep, because that meant allowing themselves to feel. The Divine Masculine energy feels and allows themselves to feel, because the Divine Masculine is in alignment with the Divine Feminine within themselves. And that feminine energy is one that feels the emotions and transmutes the emotions through allowing themselves to feel. And this is the balance, the union that Divine Masculine is currently experiencing. It's a balancing out of the inner polarities. That's the transformation that they're experiencing now. They're experiencing coming into union, and coming into union is a process that can feel very difficult because it's purging out the old. It's releasing the old. So these Divine Masculines are really going within the heart space to reflect on where they were holding themselves back. Nobody else holding themselves back but themselves. Because they were still clinging to old masks, old illusions, old versions of themselves that they were just trying to, for lack of a better word, cling to, because that was their ego. What does expansion look like? What does growth look like? What does the new version of themselves in their life look like? Soul has been urging them, pushing them. The universe, and soul, you are the universe. So soul and the universe being one, pushing them to continue to expand, to grow, to expand their mind, to expand their heart, open their heart. But that was really frightening for them, because they were still kind of clinging to the past. They were still kind of like, well, what if it's just a repeat of the past? What does it even look like? What does the future even look like? They had been pushed to grow, pushed to expand within themselves, acknowledging themselves, acknowledging their fears, push past their fears. That's where we are now. These were the other cards that came out. We have the Two of Wands here, and I clarified that and got the World and the Hanged Man. Surrendering the old version of themselves, surrendering who they thought they were and where they thought they were going, where they thought they were headed. they might have been creating in the past, but that was based on an old version of themselves. That was based on ego. And now that that ego has been surrendered to soul, they're being pushed to go within the heart space and take action from the heart space, take action from their soul's guidance, their intuition. Surrender to the universe, surrender to the feminine energy within them, which is what intuition is. They resisted that because they're like, nope, I have a set plan, I have a goal, I'm taking the lead from this place, from this mind space, from this rational place, from this logical space, all in the mind. But now as the feminine energy within them is activated and rises, they're learning how to trust their intuition and lead from that feminine energy. But they had to surrender. They couldn't keep resisting. That resistance had to end here. They couldn't keep resisting. They had to end a cycle. They had to end an old version of themselves. And that led them to a crossroads. That led them to, which way do I go? Do I take this path or this path? Not recognizing the middle way. The middle way is the soul's path. And once you're in tune with your intuition, you're just naturally guided. You're just naturally taking action. And it's an unfolding. Recognizing you don't have to plan so far ahead. Be in the present moment. Take action in the present moment. Where your heart is leading you, where you're being guided. They had resisted that for so long. Now they're being guided. Now they're seeing the truth. And where that's guiding them to is a beautiful sacred partnership that is just abundance and happiness, security, stability, complete wish fulfillment, all their desires coming true. I want to come back for a minute. They had been manifesting and creating based on an old template. And Divine Feminines, you've already experienced this. So I'm talking to the Divine Masculines now, but Divine Feminines had experienced this as well. Divine Feminines had to heal the masculine energy within them, to learn how to trust their intuition above all else, to trust their heart above all else. That's what you've learned on this journey, Divine Feminines. You've learned how to be in your Divine Feminine energy of receiving, going with the flow, allowing yourself to receive that wisdom and act on that wisdom, balancing out your masculine and feminine energies and not just being in that rational mindset. You've learned how to really trust your intuition despite what your physical world and the illusions therein were showing you. So you've been through this process, Divine Feminines. So I'm talking to the Divine Masculines now. A lot of these Divine Masculines, or could be, still take it as it resonates for you, but Divine Masculines have created from this place of, well, this is where I'm going, and I'm steadfast in it. I'm not going to change. I'm on my path, and I'm sticking to my path. Not recognizing that the path unfolds from the present moment. The path continues to unfold. And as you continue to grow and expand within yourself, as you continue to transform, well, guess what? Your path changes a little bit. Because where you were was based, and what you were manifesting then is based on an old template of yourself. Your present moment is made up of manifestations of your past. You created your present moment because you manifested that from an old version of yourself. Your point of power is right here, right now. You get to manifest from where you are now. And if you're still stuck in an old version of yourself, well, guess what? That's going to continue. Your future manifestations are going to be made up of the same trials, challenges, obstacles, the same timeline that you were on. Because you're not allowing yourself to grow. You're not allowing yourself to expand. If you embrace transformation, if you embrace growth and expansion, if you surrender to this, the conclusion of who you were, and allow yourself to be something new, something divine, then guess what? In that present moment, this present iteration of you, of expansion, of transformation, of growth, of higher consciousness, you then manifest future timelines in that higher consciousness, bringing in more stability, security, partnership, abundance, happiness, fulfillment, love, harmony, home. You manifest from the present moment because you're calling into what you're aligned to. It's all about alignment. It's all about alignment. Like I said, divine feminine, she is not accepting anything that she's no longer aligned to. She's feeling that in her energy field. Anything that is in any semblance a lower vibration, she's no longer allowing it. Because she has reached such a place and anchored into such a place within herself and her energy field where anything else, her energy is immediately rejecting it. Anything that is of a lower consciousness, a lower vibration, that's not in alignment to her truth, her divinity, her magic, her love, her openness, her authenticity, anything not in alignment to that, her energy field automatically rejects it. It's all about alignment. And thus, she's calling this in. She's calling in a divine partner. She's calling in a union with somebody who is aligned to her. She's calling in this masculine who's going through this transformation. Again, whether this is somebody who thought it was going through this transformation. Not everybody's going to go through this transformation. That is a choice. That's the crossroads that we were channeling a couple of months ago. And I'll put that link in the description box for you as well if you're new to the channel. That's the crossroads. Not everybody is going to choose to ascend. Not everybody's going to choose higher consciousness. There are some people who are going to repeat cycles. But this divine feminine is calling in a divine masculine who is doing the work, who is transforming, who is receiving this clarity and wanting to put forth the effort to surrender to their higher self, releasing the ego, releasing the old versions of themselves. Again, that's patterns, habits, addictions, mindsets, beliefs. They're doing the conscious healing work because they want to change themselves. They want to grow. They want to expand. And they recognize that they can't be who they were. They're releasing the resistance. And so as they do this work, they're aligning to the divine feminine. It's the conscious masculine aligning to the conscious feminine to become sacred partners. And as they become sacred partners, this is just life partnership. This is stability, security, commitment to each other, devotion to each other, but with an openness. I'm not talking like open relationships here. I'm talking about the open flow of love between you two. This is not unrequited. This is not resistance. This is not lack of commitment. This is not emotional unavailability. This is a masculine and a feminine who are emotionally intimate, available, and vulnerable with each other, who want to deepen their connection to each other and embrace the sacredness of each other. And as such, they embrace the sacred union and this sacred partnership. They are conscious of what they are creating. They are conscious of what this sacred union means, both for themselves and their own expansion, and for the expansion of the planet, the shifting of the planet into higher consciousness. And what it brings in for them in the physical plane is just blessings, abundance, beauty, home, family, love, beautiful partnership. In the physical, they have everything their heart desires because they're no longer resisting it, because they are two conscious beings coming into partnership with another. And it's only because you've done the work yourself. It's only because you've done the work of coming into partnership, harmony, balance within. Again, union within leading to union without. Divine feminine is now aligned to that union. Divine masculine is doing the work to become that divine partner, to align to the divine feminine in the physical. These unions are taking shape. Okay, let's see if there's any other message that needs to be said. I do, if you're new to the channel here, if this is the first reading that you've seen, I do implore you to check back at the last few Sacred Union energy updates, as well as the Ascension Messages playlist. I talk all about the teachings of Sacred Union, Inner Union, the masculine feminine polarities there, so please do check that out. I don't want to go deep into that today. I don't want to repeat myself. But if my readings resonate with you, if they call to you, then please do check those out, because all the teachings and the guidance are there. Okay, anything else we need to know, please, Spirit? Anything else we need to know? So we have the Hierophant, and we have the Queen of, oh my gosh, what is this? Queen of Swords. This really feels, this Queen of Swords energy, really actually beautiful. The lower vibrational Queen of Swords can be somebody who's very kind of cold, withdrawn. This Queen of Swords is somebody who is expressive, somebody who is just standing in her essence, standing confident in her power, expressing her love, expressing herself, standing in her truth. That is leading to higher expansion. That is leading to higher growth. That is leading to higher consciousness with the Hierophant here, the Shaman here. Hold on, there's something else here. And the Strength card, beautiful. It's like this. It's leading to higher confidence. This is feminine, divine feminine energy, but divine masculines are aligning to that divine feminine energy. They are accessing the feminine energy within themselves. So this is a message for both. But she is standing in her power. She's standing in her strength, which is allowing her to just continue expanding, growing, transforming into higher and higher and higher embodiment of that higher consciousness. And what's happening here, it's like anywhere where lower consciousness is trying to pull her down, you see how the cat is trying to tug at the tail? Anywhere where she is, anything of lower vibration or lower consciousness is trying to put her down, she's just like nonplussed. She's just non-reactive. She's not allowing it into her energy field anymore. She is standing in her power. She is standing in her strength. Divine masculine is rising to that level as well. The divine masculine is rising. The divine masculine is returning home. Again, take this as a reading for however it resonates for you. This could be, again, somebody who you already know, or this could be somebody new who is embodying the divine masculine essence. But no matter what, it is a beautiful divine union that you are aligning to. So really, really beautiful. And I love this structure in the back here as well. It's like that is that Four of Wands temple, that Four of Wands structure. Beautiful. All right, you guys, this is going to be a very quick update. I'm going to be on vacation. Yay, I'm taking a little trip next week. Hopefully I'll do a reading from where I am. But if not, just stay tuned, because we will have some kind of reading either on Facebook, Instagram, the YouTube community channel here, or as a video recording. Stay tuned. I'm not sure what I'll do yet, but we will have something. I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye.